Welcome to Chapter 17, Fixed Income or Bonds. Now we covered some of this material way back in like Chapter 2, I think, but we're going to go into much greater detail regarding bonds in this chapter. Okay, and the first thing I would say to you, or the next thing I would say to you, is that bonds are often referred to as fixed income securities. So when you see asset allocation guidelines, often it'll say equity, stock, fixed income, which is bonds. Okay, so let's define bonds. Bonds represent long-term debt. Bonds are legal contracts between the borrowers, who are the issuers of bonds. So if you need money, you issue bonds. And lenders. Lenders are the investors in the bonds. Okay? Bonds are often issued to the public in small units, usually $1,000. That's what par value is, $1,000. However, most issuers and brokerage firms require investors to purchase a specified minimum number of bonds. So even though bonds are issued in units of $1,000, you often cannot buy one bond. If you want to buy some bonds, the brokerage firm that you buy the bonds from will require you to buy a certain minimum, like 5 or 10 or 15 bonds. So you have to check on that if you're an investor. What is the minimum purchase that I can make? So a bond may sell for $1,000, brokerage firm, let's go back to that real quick so you can fill in. Brokerage firms may require bonds, investors to buy at least 10 bonds, minimum purchase, so something for you to check on. Okay, let's look at some key bond terms just to refresh your memory. Here's my slide layout here, so I want to make sure don't go too far into this chapter. All right, so the indenture. Okay, this is the contract that contains the key provisions of the bond. And as I've told you before, there are attorneys out there who practice bond law. They write bond contracts or indentures. Then we have the par or face value. This is the amount borrowed, the principal. This is the $1,000 face value of the bond. This is the amount to be repaid at a certain date in the future. 99% of bonds have a face or par value of $1,000. Unless I tell you otherwise, you should assume that the par value of a bond is $1,000. Maturity. This is the date, the specific date, the face value or par value will be repaid. The term to maturity. This is the time period until a bond matures. It's from one date, usually today, until the bond matures. The time frame, the amount of time until a bond matures. All right, the coupon rate, really important for you to pay close attention to this, the coupon rate. Okay, this is the contractual annual interest rate on a bond. It is the interest rate that is listed in the bond indenture. Okay, an example would be 8% annually. Okay, the coupon payment. How do you compute the coupon payment? The coupon payment is the dollar amount of each interest payment that is dispersed, and you compute the coupon payment, the dollar amount that will be dispersed, by multiplying the coupon rate by the face value. So the purpose of the coupon rate is to help determine the coupon dollar payment. All right, the market rate. It's also known as the yield to maturity, what you will actually earn on your bond. All right. This is the prevailing interest rate in the market that investors can earn on this bond that you're buying and on other bonds with similar features and risk. This is the market rate. The coupon rate is used to compute the coupon payment. The market rate is the rate of return that you use to find the present value of the coupon payments and the face value to find the market value or market price of a bond. Okay? So the market rate is out there in the marketplace, and it is used as your discount rate to find the market price of the bond. All right. It is the rate we use to find the present value of a bond's interest payments and principal prepayment, which we will cover in the next clip. All right. Call feature. What is a call feature? It is the right, but not the obligation of an issuer to buy back bonds at a specified price during a specified time period. That is what a call feature is. So it allows a company, if they want, to buy back bonds that they've issued at a certain price. This is a little different from a sinking fund. A sinking fund is when in the indenture, the issuer has the obligation. They must. They don't have just the opportunity, the right, but they have the obligation to retire bonds over a specified time period, and the issuer will pay the market price for any bonds retired through the sinking fund process. So there are differences between a call feature and a sinking fund, and you need to know the differences. So call feature is the right but not the obligation of the issuer to buy back bonds, and they have a specified time frame and a specified price. A sinking fund, they don't have the option. They must buy a certain number of bonds back, and they will pay the market price when they buy the bonds back. That's the difference between a sinking fund and call feature. All right, credit enhancement. What is credit enhancement? This is lowering the credit risk of a bond. Credit risk meaning it is the risk that a bond issuer will not pay back principal or interest. Okay? You can lower this risk by having the issuer add collateral to the bond. Okay? Hey, if we don't pay, you can take our building. Or credit can be enhanced by using a third-party guarantor or an insurer. So an insurance company can write a policy on a bond that says to the bond owner, if you buy this bond and the issuer does not pay you back, we, the insurance company, will pay you back. And so the bond issuer pays the premium to the insurance company to insure the bond. All right, the vast majority of bonds that are insured, and there are a good number of bonds out there that are insured, so that if you're an investor, that's something you ask about. Hey, is this bond insured? Are municipal bonds? Okay, that's the end of this clip. We'll move on. Shalom.